For decades, battleships and battlecruisers dominated the world's oceans and the most powerful warships ever built. However, the rapid rise of naval aviation forced many nations to rethink their naval strategies and gave several unfinished or outdated capital ships a second life as aircraft carriers. Rather than scrapping these massive vessels, engineers transformed them by replacing heavy gun turrets with flight decks, hangars, and aviation facilities. Many of these converted carriers went on to become some of the most famous warships of the Second World War, proving that aircraft had replaced big guns as the future of naval warfare. In this video, we'll explore the 9 battleships and battlecruisers that were successfully converted into aircraft carriers, ranked by their final carrier displacement. The Bearn. Bearn was originally laid down by France as a Normandy-class battleship during the First World War, before construction was halted. Following the war and the growing importance of naval aviation, France decided to complete the unfinished hull as an aircraft carrier instead of a battleship. The conversion took place between 1923 and 1927, making her France's first aircraft carrier. She measured 182.5 meters in length, displaced approximately 28,400 tons at full load, and could carry around 32 aircraft. Her battleship hull was extensively rebuilt with a full-length flight deck, hangars, and elevators, and arresting gear. Although she was slower than purpose-built carriers, Bearn provided invaluable experience in naval aviation. She remained in service throughout the Second World War, primarily serving as an aircraft transport and training carrier. HMS Furious. Furious was originally built by the United Kingdom as a Courageous class battlecruiser, armed with 2 massive 18-inch guns. As aircraft rapidly proved their military value, during the First World War, the Royal Navy decided to transform her into an aircraft carrier through several stages of conversion between 1917 and 1925. The final rebuild replaced nearly all of her heavy gun armament with continuous flight deck and enclosed hangars. She measured 239.8 meters in length, displaced around 26,900 tons, and could operate approximately 36 aircraft. Furious became one of the world's first practical fleet carriers and pioneered many carrier operating techniques. Her successful conversion influenced nearly every future aircraft carrier design around the world. The HMS Glorious. The HMS Glorious began her career as a Courageous class battlecruiser built for the Royal Navy during the First World War. After the signing of the Washington Naval Treaty, Britain chose to convert her into an aircraft carrier rather than scrap the valuable hull. The conversion was completed between 1924 and 1930, replacing her heavy artillery with a full flight deck, hangars, aircraft elevators, and modern aviation facilities. She measured 239.8 meters in length, displaced approximately 27,859 tons, and carried up to 48 aircraft. The transformation gave Britain another modern fleet carrier capable of supporting naval operations worldwide. Glorious later served in the early stages of the Second World War before being sunk by German battlecruisers in 1940. The HMS Courageous. HMS was originally constructed as the lead ship of the Courageous class battlecruisers for the Royal Navy during the First World War. As naval aviation became increasingly important and treaty restrictions limited new capital ships, Britain decided to convert her into an aircraft carrier between 1924 and 1928. Nearly the entire superstructure and gun armament were removed to install a full-length flight deck, large hangars, and aircraft handling equipment. She measured 239.8 meters long, displaced around 27,420 tons, and could carry approximately 48 aircraft. Her conversion greatly expanded Britain's carrier force during the interwar period. Courageous became one of the Royal Navy's primary fleet carriers until she was sunk by a German submarine in 1939. The Akagi. Akagi was originally laid down as an Amagi-class battlecruiser for the Imperial Japanese Navy before changing naval priorities altered her future. Under the Washington Naval Treaty, Japan was permitted to convert incomplete capital ships into aircraft carriers, and Akagi was selected for the role. Her conversion began in 1923 and was completed in 1927, with a major modernization carried out between 1935 and 1938. She measured 260.7 meters in length, displaced approximately 41,300 tons, and could carry around 91 aircraft after modernization. The battlecruiser hull was transformed into large hangars, a full flight deck, elevators, and advanced aviation facilities. Akagi went on to become the flagship of Japan's carrier strike force and played a leading role in the attack on Pearl Harbor. The Kaga was originally laid down as a Tulsa-class battleship, but was selected for conversion after the battlecruiser Amagi was severely damaged by the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923. The Washington Naval Treaty allowed Japan to convert one unfinished battleship into an aircraft carrier, and Kaga became the replacement. She was converted between 1923 and 1928, followed by a major reconstruction during the 1930s that gave her a modern full-length flight deck. Kaga measured 247.7 meters in length, displaced approximately 38,813 tons, and could carry around 90 aircraft. Her battleship hull provides excellent protection, while the new aviation facilities transformed her into one of Japan's most powerful carriers. Kaga later became one of the 6 carriers that participated in the attack on Pearl Harbor. The Shinano was originally laid down as the 3rd Yamato-class battleship, but Japan changed her role after suffering devastating carrier losses during the Battle of Midway in 1942. Construction was halted and the massive battleship hull was converted into a heavily protected aircraft carrier, with work completed in 1944. Unlike conventional carriers, Shinano was designed primarily as a support carrier capable of transporting aircraft, supplies, and spare parts while carrying her own combat air group. She measured an enormous 266 meters in length, displaced approximately 65,800 tons, and could accommodate around 47 operational aircraft plus additional reserve aircraft. The conversion retained much of the battleship's heavy armor, while adding a large flight deck, hangars, and aviation support systems. Although she became the largest aircraft carrier in the world at the time, Shinano was sunk by an American submarine just 10 days after entering service. The USS Saratoga CV-3 USS Saratoga was originally laid down as a Lexington-class battlecruiser for the United States Navy before naval treaties changed her destiny. The Washington Naval Treaty of 1922 allowed 2 unfinished battlecruisers to be completed as aircraft carriers, and Saratoga became one of them. Construction was redesigned with a large flight deck, spacious hangars, aircraft elevators, and a unique island superstructure before she entered service in 1927. She measured 270.7 meters in length, displaced approximately 37,000 tons, and could carry around 78 aircraft. Her battlecruiser hull gave her exceptional speed, making her one of the fastest carriers of the era. Saratoga served throughout the Second World War and became one of the most successful early American aircraft carriers. The USS Lexington CV-2 USS Lexington also began construction as a Lexington-class battlecruiser before being selected for conversion under the Washington Naval Treaty. Rather than being scrapped, the partially completed hull, the U.S. Navy rebuilt her into a powerful fleet aircraft carrier, with conversion completed in 1927. The process replaced heavy gun turrets with a full-length flight deck, large hangars, aircraft elevators, and aviation support facilities while retaining her powerful machinery. Lexington measured 270.7 meters long, displaced approximately 48,000 tons, and could operate around 78 aircraft. Her impressive speed and large air group made her one of the world's most capable carriers before the Second World War. She later played a vital role in the Pacific until being lost during the Battle of the Coral Sea in 1942. And that's it, guys, for today. We'll see you guys again in our next video. Until then, bye-bye.